Hello and welcome to the Voice of TOD. I'm Tom, and in this video we're going to take a look at a Games Radar article on 19 actors who could replace Daniel Craig as 007. Now, I haven't done a Bond video for quite a while. I think the last one I did was when Amazon acquired the rights. I've seen No Time to Die. I thought it was very good. I do want to do a proper review on it at some point, so I'm not going to go into much more detail. But as a result of No Time to Die, Daniel Craig is now out of the picture. He had a questionable run as Bond, I would say. The quality was peak and very much troughs. As a Bond, I actually really like him. I think he's my favourite Bond of all the Bonds that we've had. I think the problem has been they tried to make this convoluted story link in the 5 movies, and the writing just wasn't there. It felt rushed, it didn't feel quite right, and really only 2 of the 5 films he's done I think make any sense. But this isn't the video where we talk about the past. Games Radar, and a link will be in the description below for you to check out as well. I'm not going to go through it word for word, I'm just going to go through the actors that they've selected and give my thoughts on the 19. I have one who I have been saying should be Bond since I think 2010. I believe they're a British actor. We'll come on to that. If it's not mentioned, we'll come on to that at the end. And I've been championing, that's a word. I've been wanting to see them as Bond for a very long time. And I think that the work that they've done has been pretty good. They're not as well known as some of the people on here, but I think they have everything that they need, having seen them do action and having seen them act, to be the perfect modern Bond. But let's jump in with this. Let's see who Games Radar thinks the 19 actors could replace Daniel Craig as Bond. They say 007. I'm going to say Bond, because they are 2 different things, and No Time to Die showed us that. So I'm looking more who can play the character James Bond in the future. Tom Hardy. I'm gonna say no at this point, and I like Tom Hardy. I really like Tom Hardy. I think he's done some really good stuff. I think he's done some iffy stuff. As an actor, he's fantastic. He really gets into the character. There's just something about him that puts me off, and I don't know what it is, but for Bond I don't think he's right, but he's a phenomenal actor. Henry Cavill's a popular one. Everybody loves Henry Cavill. He's Geralt in The Witcher at the minute. He's been Superman. No idea if he's ever going to be Superman again. I really like Henry Cavill. I think he's great. I haven't seen The Man from U.N.C.L.E., but I have seen, was it Mission Impossible 5 or 6 that he was in with his moustache? And I really liked him in that. I think he's great. He can do everything that he would need to do. And if you were looking for a traditional, suave, sophisticated, quick-witted, quippy Bond, I think Henry Cavill would be great. Very much a Roger Moore style Bond, with that casual, of easy, seductive edge to him. Cavill would be great, and he can do the action that would be required in a modern day action movie. Yeah, he's possible, but he's not who I would love to see. He'd be my top 5 people to play James Bond. Idris Elba is, again, an incredible actor. Long running rumour that he'd play Bond at some point. I don't have a problem with him being Bond. I think the only issue that I would really have is the longevity that he would want to play the character. So if we're going to do, the Bond films have been pretty spread out over the last 20 years. Mostly because Daniel Craig probably didn't want to do Bond anymore. I don't see a 10-15 year Bond sort of run with Idris Elba. If they were to do a one shot of, this is a new Bond, this is his mission, it's a one and done, a la George Lazenby I guess. Yes, I'd love to see Idris. I think he'd be perfect. He has that subtle, violent undertones with the very cool character that you could see him as a Bond. As a future Bond, in terms of, you know, the next one he's going to do a run of films, I'm going to say no. 10 years ago I would have said yes. because I think he's such a great underrated actor. I think this picture is taken from Luther. Yeah, it says BBC. If you haven't seen Luther, I mean, that's just... Idris is insane. He's so good as Luther. And I think that's maybe why I think he'd do a really good Bond. Very talented. For multiple movies, I'm going to say no. Regé-Jean Page. I don't know much about this guy. He's Bridgerton, right? Yeah. Not seen him in much. There was a film I watched recently that he was in. It was some sort of spy thrillery thing. Could it have been The Terminal List? Could it have been something else? He's been in something that I've seen. He was fine. From the little that I know, I think he would be good on the acting and the complexity of the character. I haven't seen him do action, so for me, until I see him do an all-out action film, or at least an element of action within one of his roles, I'm going to say no. But definitely at some point, if he gets that action movie stuff under his belt and he can prove he can do the action, I don't see why not. He's very popular right now. Lashana Lynch, she is 007 in No Time to Die, as the article says. I thought she was very good as whatever her name was. Agent 007, new 007. I'm going to say no, purely because James Bond has to be a man, in my opinion. It has to be a man. That is James Bond. That is the character. Don't try and gender switch an iconic character like that, because it's never going to work. There's going to be a huge backlash, and it just wouldn't make sense to the story, in my opinion. And you know, if I'm wrong, tell me. I don't have a problem with Lashana Lynch. I actually thought she was one of the better things in Captain Marvel, and I thought she was really good in No Time to Die, and she proved that she can do action. As a future 007, absolutely, I can see it and I've got no problem with it, but she's not James Bond. Cillian Murphy. I think this is another one of 10 years ago I'd have probably said yes. I'm gonna say no, because I kind of like him, and again, another incredible actor. There's some amazing British actors. I'm going to say no, just because I love seeing him as a villain. He gets creepy so well. Bond villain, yes. Bond, I'm going to say no. Sam, is it Hugan? Sam Hugan. Never heard of him. From the picture, yeah, why not? He can hold a gun and he looks like he knows what he's doing. Apparently he's an Outlander, never seen it. SAS Red Notice, never seen it. I don't know. I have no opinion because I don't know who he is, and I've not seen him in anything that I know of. So for me, it's a no. But I could easily be proved wrong. Richard Madden. I'm going to say no straight away. He's young enough to do multiples. He's a good enough actor to get away with it, and we know he can do action. I just don't see him as Bond. I don't think I'd have a problem if he was cast as Bond. But for me, he doesn't have that sort of suave, or I haven't seen him have that suave edge. He always plays very sort of rough, damaged characters, which I suppose is Craig's Bond, but part of me wants to go back to the sort of, not necessarily the stereotypical English gentleman. I want a bit of suaveness with Bond. I wouldn't have a problem if he was cast, and I could understand why he was cast, being what, mid-30s, early to mid-30s. You could get 4 or 5 films out of him in the next sort of 10-12 years. There wouldn't be an issue there, and he could do it. He was very good in The Bodyguard, but I think it's The Bodyguard that put me off him being Bond. So no for me. Oh, Dev Patel. I've never thought of Dev Patel as Bond. He's the right age for multiple movies. He's an insanely good actor. Like one of the best actors that we've seen on this list, in all honesty. Have I ever seen him do modern action? Because he's got the acting chops to do whatever they want to do with a character. As complex or as simple as they want. He's got a fantastic screen presence. Have I ever seen him do modern action? I don't think I have, but I don't think that I've got a problem with it. I think Dev Patel could be very left field, but I think he could be pretty good. I'd be interested to see what they did with Dev Patel, because he's incredible. And this still, I believe, is taken from The Green Knight, which is an incredible film. I absolutely loved it. Visually amazing. Did I review it? I can't remember. If I haven't, I'll probably rewatch and review it. Green Knight, I believe it's on Amazon. Go watch it. Incredible. I'm going to say yes to Dev Patel, but I would never have thought of it. Hiddleston. Oh, God. I'm so torn on this. Again, another incredible actor. Having seen The Night Manager with him and Hugh Laurie, I absolutely buy that he could do Bond really well. He can do action. He's even done multiple movies with the Marvel stuff, playing the same character. I would hope that Bond movies would be better written than the Marvel stuff, but who knows. I'm going to have to say yes because he's got everything I'd want in Bond. I haven't got a reason to say no. So sure, why not? He's handsome, he's suave, he can be sophisticated, he can do action. Yeah, I wouldn't turn down Tom Hiddleston as Bond. Yeah, I can't see why. Again, I wouldn't. Would he be in my top 5? Possibly. James Norton. James Norton gets thrown around quite a lot for this. I'm gonna say no, because again, I like him as an evil character. He can do the action. I mean, he's a good enough actor. I don't think he's at the levels of some of the ones we've already seen. He's done a lot of good stuff. He's done a lot of TV stuff that he's really good in. What was it called? The thing with Sarah Lancashire. Happy Valley. I'm pretty sure that was him. He was so sinister. I see him more as a villain. Just like Hiddleston, he's got the look, he can wear a suit, he can do the action. I'd be a little disappointed if he was cast, but I can completely understand why, and I think he would probably do a good Bond with good writing. I'm gonna say no. Henry Golding. Oh, was he Snake Eyes? Still never seen that. In The Gentleman as well. Last Christmas. I've never thought of him as Bond. Dev Patel is left field, but I could absolutely get on board with it. I don't know if Henry Golding would be a good Bond. I'd need to see more of him. I mean, if he was Snake Eyes, he can probably do action. I'd probably need to see Snake Eyes before I make a decision. But I'm going to say no for now. And who knows, I might, at some point in my life, watch Snake Eyes and think, yep, that guy's going to be Bond. Oh, Jamie Bell, really? He'd do a really good Broken Bond. Daniel Craig did a really good Broken Bond. I want a different tone for the next Bond film. I want it to be slightly less, the world's evil and we're all going to die and the love of my life was murdered and now I want to kill everyone. Jamie Bell would do really well. I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with him being Bond. He'd certainly do it. I mean, Christ, Snowpiercer. I adored him in Snowpiercer. He's done a lot of good stuff everywhere else. Everyone knows him for Billy Elliot, which I think he won awards for. Yeah, I think he'd do really well. I'm going to say no, though. It's because I've seen him do action stuff and I've never thought, yeah, Bond. And some actors I have. Henry Cavill being one of them. And Daniel Craig in Layer Cake. As soon as I saw Layer Cake, I thought, yeah, Bond. I'm going to say no on Jamie Bell, but he's a really good actor. He could be a good... No, that would be selling him short to say like as a second agent or something, but I think that would be cruel to him because he is a star. That's out of left field, but it's not Dev Patel. But I can see why they'd put him on this list because they've had to find 19 people. John Boyega. Oh, never thought of him as Bond. But now it's been mentioned, I could sort of see it. I wouldn't be against it, you know. He got done dirty in Star Wars, but he's done other stuff as well, and he's usually very good. He is a very good actor. He'd certainly do a fantastic job. I don't know, I think people would have a problem with it, but actually, if you saw him in the role, in the suit, he's quippy enough, he's obviously smart enough, he's a great actor. Problem is, people know him for Star Wars, and that's what's going to hurt him until he does a load of, like, it's the Robert Pattinson effect, you know, Twilight, and then he does Batman 10 years on after working on so many small projects, doing so many different roles, and he goes out and he does a great Batman. I think Boyega could be, I've never thought of him as Bond, but I think he could be a great Bond. I think he could really pull it off. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I want to see it. That's a good shout. That is a really good shout. He's young, he's talented, he's quippy, he'd be a little bit cheeky with it. Yeah, I like that. I do like that. Dan Stevens is someone who, again, I think he's always sort of been in the question. I'm going to say no. Partly because I've not seen him in enough stuff, and I know he's done action, and the trailers that I've seen for some of it, I've never had the desire to go and see it. Yeah, I'm going to say no, but I don't have enough information to rule him out. Let me put it that way. I'm not against it, but I'm going to say no until I've seen more. And if I see some of his actiony stuff and I think, yeah, he could do it, then yes. But I'm going to say no. Daniel Kaluuya. Again, someone I've never thought of as Bond, but I kind of want to now, just like John Boyega. I think it's the same sort of style. He's got that slight cheekiness, that quippiness. He's a good actor. He's a very good actor. Oh, that's a good shout. This is the problem with having an idea of who should be the next Bond for years. You don't look at other actors in what they're doing and think, yeah, they could do it. I've always thought this guy. Yeah, I'm not against Kaluuya. He'd be very good. Yeah, okay, yeah. Not against it. And again, he could do multiples. He's not in the new Black Panther. Don't know what's gone on there. Maybe he didn't want to do multiple movies. I don't know. I've not really looked into why he's not in it. I mean, Black Panther isn't a reason to give him Bond anyway. He was a minor character. He was good, but he was a minor character. I think it'd be a very different Bond, but I can certainly see it. Clive Standen. Who was Clive Standen? Wait, is he the guy who is gonna voice the Space Marine dude in the new Space Marine game? Is that where I've seen him? Yeah, he is. Okay. Ryan Mills in Taken. Again, I've never really thought of him as Bond. I've not seen the Taken TV series. Not that I'm against it, I've just never got to it. He was Rollo in Vikings. Very good. Never thought of it. I've never really seen him in it. I'd have to watch Taken to see. Possibly. I don't know enough about him to make a decision. I'm going to say no because I don't know enough about him. Yeah, possibly. I'm going to say no. Come on. Absolutely not. Dwayne Johnson has enough projects going on without having to be Bond. And why would you want him as Bond? I mean, he's quippy enough, and he can definitely do action. Is it because he's not British? I just don't see him as Bond. I don't see Bond that big. A man that big stands out in the crowd. James Bond should almost just he's handsome, but disappear into the background a little bit. No, absolutely not. But he could be Felix Leiter or an American agent in a Bond movie. I'm not against that, but no, I'm sorry, Dwayne. I think you're great, and I enjoy most of your movies, and I definitely think you could do action. I just don't think you're Bond. Tom Hopper. Now, this isn't who I've been wanting for years, but last series of Umbrella Academy, I kind of thought, oh, I would absolutely love Tom Hopper as Bond. I think he is fantastic. Definitely got the chops for it. He's definitely able to do the action stuff. I really liked him in Black Sails as well. Yeah, I'd love to see him as Bond. I'm not against it, and he would probably be my second choice. The person who I would absolutely love to see as Bond, from the movie Faster that came out in 2010, which does star Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, is this guy, Oliver Jackson Cohen. He was great in The Invisible Man. He was in, I'm just trying to find it, Haunting of Bly Manor and Haunting of Hill House. That's where most people know him from. Many years ago, I saw him in Faster. He plays a hitman. Absolutely. 1000% yes. This guy should be the next Bond. He's been my pick since, I'm guessing, 2010 when I saw Faster. That's him in Haunting of Hill House. There's just something about him, and Faster for the action, but there's a complexity in the characters that he plays. He can do charming, he can do, broken, damaged. Whatever you'd want him to do, he can do it. He should be the next Bond, in my opinion. If you've not seen Faster, it's not a great movie by any stretch of the imagination. It's your average Dwayne Johnson sort of mid-2000s action movie, but the action is very good in it. And this guy, since I saw that movie, he for me is the next Bond. Was this Bly Manor? Yeah, he's very aggressive in as a character in Blind Manor. Very suave kind of 80s cocksure bastard. Really, really good. And I think he could do that sort of a hybrid of the Roger Moore quippy fun style and the Daniel Craig I'm just going to shoot you in the head and no one will find your body kind of Bond. Which is what I think I want. I want to step away from the continuous movies and they all have to link in and the story has to make sense and it's got to be a cinematic universe of whatever the fuck. I just want Bond to be Bond. I'm not saying that Daniel Craig was bad, because he's my personal favourite, but a lot of the writing was terrible. Casino Royale is the best Bond movie ever made, in my opinion, and it kind of went downhill from then. Compared to other Bond movies, Quantum of Solace is pretty terrible. Skyfall did what it needed to do to celebrate the anniversary of Bond. I don't love it, but I like the nostalgia nods in there. Spectre I thought was terrible as well. And I enjoyed No Time to Die, but I've only seen it once, whereas I've seen the others quite a few times. I kind of miss the continuation of the character, and you can build the character up over movies, but I'd like it just to be different missions with different people, and Bond, Moneypenny, M, and maybe Q are just the same actors for the next 10 years. But the mission changes, the women change, the people he's partnered up with, the villains, it all just changes. Don't want it all to link in, I just want it to be a new movie, a new mission, and I think he could be the face and the actor to push Bond into this next generation. But that's it for me. Let me know what you think in the comments. Very hot topic, who should be the next James Bond? And I'd be very interested who in that list or elsewhere you guys would like to see as James Bond, because I don't think there is a right answer. But thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.